lesson 4B of our migration investigation. Now, our investigation so far has covered everything from the hypothesis, what do we really think is going to be the result of our investigation. We talked about the questions that we're answering. Okay, we have 2 questions, one about comparing Preston Manor to Brent, and the other about whether or not diversity at Preston Manor is perceived to be a good thing or a bad thing, and what people think about it. Okay, so last lesson you looked at some secondary data and you did loads of manipulating the data within a spreadsheet to find out some percentages of where our students come from. Today, what we're going to be looking at is how we can turn some of that data into graphs. So we're going to start off with looking again at that secondary data and doing the 2 graphs for the secondary data, and then we're going to look at our primary data and we're going to look at the results of our questionnaires and doing the same processes again, making graphs and charts of the results of our primary data collection. So let's get on with it. So we're in lesson 4, but part B, analysing our primary data is the main purpose of today. But before we do that, we are going to be looking at graphs and charts, okay? And there were 2 charts that we did not finish off last lesson, okay? So we're just going to go back and do those first. But for the majority of today's lesson, you are looking at the results of the questionnaires that you guys sent out. And it looked like this, the questionnaire, about the perception of diversity at Preston Manor, okay? So, very simple. You have these instructions in your booklet and here on the slide as well. And I'm going to show you using this video how to do these things. But there are step-by-step instructions for pretty much everything we're doing already in your booklet. Okay, so we're going to start off by creating a chart, and it's really, really simple. We're just inserting it. So let's have a little look. We were in this spreadsheet last lesson, okay, and you did a couple of different things where you filled in some of the data. In fact, we're going to just want some of that sorted out. So equals some, what was it? It was C2 to C49, brackets, there we go, we've got that there, and then I'm just going to drag these ones down a bit. So this is how, at the end of lesson 4A, your left hand side should have looked, and then, there we go, and then you should also have these tables over here all filled out with the correct data. But what we're going to look at now then is 6 and 7, creating the pie graph to show Preston Manor's diversity and a geo chart to show students' countries of origin. So I'm just going to put my cursor down here where it's not going to get in the way, and I'm going to go up to the bar over here with the different options on and click insert. So now that I have insert, I'm going to go down to chart. I have no data in my chart and I'm going to need to put some in. And I also want to have a look in this bar over here. This is where I'm going to customize and create my chart. Now to start with, I don't really want a column chart. I want a pie chart because I want to see how many of each different group of people or different country we have. So we're going to start off with our data range in here, and I've just got F23 because that was the random cell that I selected down here. So I'm going to delete that. Click this button to select a new data range. So if I click that, I'm going to want some countries of origin. That's going to be my first data range, okay? And my second data range is going to be the number of pupils, because I want to know how many pupils from each country of origin there are. So just dragging that down. So it should say A1 to A49 and C1 to C49. Press OK. And if I go back up to where my chart is, there it is, wonderfully. It has all of the countries that people come from. And we can see that 13% of our pupils come from Pakistan, 20% of our pupils come from India, 15% of those come from Somalia. Now, when we're looking at our primary data, we're going to have people's impressions of where they think people have come from in the world. And we can compare that eventually to, just dragging this out of the way, we can compare that. Now I'm going to customize it because what we mustn't ever forget is that my chart needs a title and an axis. So chart title, student, country, student, countries of origin. Preston Manor School. Okay, so lovely. Now I've clicked out and you can see my little chart window has disappeared, but I do want another chart. So I've done now with my pie graph to show Preston Manor's diversity. Okay, I'm done with that one. Let's mark that one as done. And now we're going to do number 7. We want a geo chart, a slightly different type of chart this time to show students' countries of origin. So quite similar, okay, pretty much the same amount of information, but using a different chart type. So again, insert, chart, and this time I don't want a column chart. I don't want a bar chart or a pie chart. Scroll down until I can see these map style charts. These are my geo charts, okay? And this is a very easy way for us to make a choropleth map in Google, okay? So here we have our blank geo chart, our map of the world, all the countries on it. And I need to be really, really clear about where that's going to be. So again, clicking my data range, removing that and adding countries of origin in here, okay? And then adding another column, another data range, and this time I want my number of pupils from each country. And I'm going to say OK. Okay. Now, my chart is looking pretty good, but my scale looks really odd. Look, anything from 1 is being done in red, and anything up to 274 pupils is being done in green. So a bit of an odd set of colours there. I'm going to go into customize and chart style, and I'm going to really think about the geochart style and think about what I want my scale to look like. Now, because I want this to be a choropleth map, my lighter colors need to be my minimums, okay? So I want those to be in maybe a lighter green. I want a sort of medium green for my darker color, my mid-range countries, and like a properly dark green for the darkest ones, okay, the places that are the highest. And then again in my chart style now I don't have a title. That's about usual, isn't it? Okay, well, let me put a title in there. But even so, here I have my choropleth map, and you can see very clearly the countries that have the largest populations of pupils coloured in the darkest countries. It also lets us spot where there are huge missings. According to this data, nobody is from Oceania, Australia, or down here. It apparently says that there's no one from Argentina, but I'm pretty sure that that's not true. Okay, it says that there's not many pupils down here in the Caribbean. So the question will become, when we get to our evaluation, what data have we used and is it really accurate? Okay, so again, all I'm doing here is I'm just moving my table so that it's my graph, so it's out of the way. Now, just if you wanted to copy and paste this, obviously you can right click your chart and you can copy that and then paste it into your document. The 2 graphs we've just done for our secondary data, we also need to analyze our primary data today. Your primary data has been shared with you as a spreadsheet, which looks like this. And that spreadsheet has been generated from people answering that questionnaire that you sent out. Okay, now if we were in our booklets, we would be able to see that although we've done all of this stuff now for the secondary data in lesson 4A, what we're looking at now is doing our primary data charts, and there are quite a few different charts we need to do. So there were 6 questions that were asked, and we need a chart for each one of these. Okay, so we're going to do different types of charts for different questions. The first question was, which of the following do you think is the most common country of origin for pupils at Preston Manor? Okay, and we're just going to follow the exact same process we did last time, where we said insert, chart, and with this one we can choose pretty much whatever chart type we like. Okay, I would say that we probably want either a bar chart or maybe a bar chart. And we're going to select a data range as we did before. Just remove whatever random ones are in there. And we're just going to select this one here. Okay. Yeah, all the way down. Now, at the moment, my spreadsheet only has 82 responses, but you guys might hopefully be getting a spreadsheet with more responses in it than that. Okay, so we're going to aggregate that. This button here is really important. It adds up all of the different responses. Okay, so that's what aggregate means. And actually, we've got a small mistake in here. We've got the question coming in as part of our data range. So we want to just change that. We're going to edit it in here. We don't want to start from B1. We actually want to start from B2. Okay, so we're just going to sort that bit out. And then, of course, we need to customize it. An appropriate title is, of course, going to be the same as the question. So we'll just title it with the same thing as the question. Chart title. Okay. And we leave it there. Okay, so that is our first chart done. Now, it did say here in our list that the first question could be done as a word cloud, and I'm going to just show you how to do that. It's a bit of an unusual one. We can't do it straight out of our spreadsheet. Okay, so what we're going to do, and just actually Google word cloud. And we're going to use, you can use pretty much any of these. You just have to be quite confident with how to use them. So I'm just going to show you this one. So this one is a word cloud generator. And I think it produces quite pretty word clouds. So we're going to use that. Now, what you can see with the word cloud is that it is changing the size of the word according to how frequently it appears. And this is just a sample one that's in here right now. Okay. I'm going to click over here on word list to edit the word list, and then I can type them in here and decide how big I want them to be. But I think the easier thing for me to do is actually up here to click paste or type dialog. And what I've done is I've just selected here all of the different answers, all the responses that I've got to that, copy and pasted it, and I'm going to paste it in here. So here's all of my responses, and I'm going to apply that. And it's going to draw me my lovely word cloud. Now you can see that I've only got 3 words on here: Pakistan, Poland, and India, 3 of the countries that we mention in our responses. But you can see up here it says 3 words not drawn. And if I just adjust this down, it will add in words. They keep adjusting down until they are all there. So they are now all there, and I think it's probably to do with the shape that my thing is in. But yeah, there we go, that's a bit more like it. Let's make it like that. And I might then choose to say, right, I've got this lovely word cloud. Let's just take a screenshot of that. Screenshot it, there we go. And I'm going to paste that into my document for my responses. Okay, so when I'm looking back in my booklet, I'm going to put in my images, the things that I've done. So that might be my word cloud for number 1. It might be a bar chart, okay, for question 1, or for any of these other questions. Say, for instance, if we were looking at question 2, okay, again, selecting that data. And one final reminder of how to do this. We're going to say insert, chart. And let's say, for instance, if we want to look at a pie chart for this one. There's nothing stopping us using a pie chart. Okay, a few people seem to have selected option 3. So here we've got 66% of people saying, yes, I feel British, and 28% of respondents saying, no, I don't feel British. Okay. And that is what you repeat for each of these 6 questions, so that you can tick them off here, pasting them, copying and pasting them into pages pages 12 to 15 of your booklet. Okay, guys, good luck with that. Obviously, ask any questions of your teachers on your Google Classroom. Thank you.